Hey YouTube, so this is my labor and delivery story video, and yeah, she's sleeping. Anyway, so I had a doctor's appointment on June 1st, and when she checked me, I was more effaced than last appointment and about 3 centimeters dilated. So she told me to go to labor and delivery. So when I went there, they checked me, and even though I was having contractions, there wasn't enough progress to be admitted. So they sent me home, but before they sent me home, they offered me morphine, but I said, it doesn't hurt that bad, so I don't want to take it. I just realized the rocking is probably annoying to people watching, so I'm going to stop. Anyway, so I went home without the morphine. The next day I started having contractions pretty steadily, and we went to the hospital again. So this was on Wednesday, June 2nd, right? Yeah, June 2nd. Anyway, so I went, still not enough, but the contractions were hurting a lot, so they gave me morphine and I took it. Went home, I passed out. The next day, June 3rd, at around 3 p.m., the effects were just wearing off, not really. And I got a call from my doctor. She asked me if, how many contractions I was having. And I told her that I didn't know because the morphine was still in effect, so I couldn't really time them. So she just told me to put my hand on my stomach and see how many times it gets hard. And about after an hour, she would call me back. So an hour passed, and I was having them about every 3 minutes. And she seemed really surprised, and she was like, go ahead to go to labor and delivery. So I was like, no, I don't want to go. I don't feel like I'm having contractions, and I'm not going to go because I don't want to be sent back again. I've been there too many times. So she was like, okay, well, I guarantee that you won't be back this time. And she was worried because she said my baby's stomach was bigger than her head, which meant that her shoulders would be bigger, which meant that there was a possibility of me getting a C-section because she wouldn't fit through my pelvis. So that scared me. And anyway, so then I headed to labor and delivery at about 6:30 because my husband and I decided to wait and see if my contractions were coming and actually felt them and they hurt. And then in the meantime, he was cleaning up in case it really was the time. So anyway, yeah. Okay, well anyway, hopefully I can do this. Back to this, I'm sorry, my husband. Anyway, so we got there at around 6:30. They checked me. I was about 4 centimeters, not fully 4 centimeters yet, and the same as yesterday. So the nurses there were really pissed off because my doctor sent me there promising that I wouldn't have to leave, and they were like, well, we're going to send you home. And so I was pissed off. I was like, no, I'm not going home. You need to tell me what I need to do in order to get more progress. So they said, okay, go walk. So I walked from 7:45 to 8:45 all around the hospital, and at the end of that hour, I was so desperate. So I started doing some jumping jacks and jogging, and I even cut my ankle on concrete. Don't ask. And so then we headed back to get checked. And at that point, I was having really strong back labor because my baby was posterior. So the only thing that really helped me was walking. I was able to walk the pain out, I guess. Anyway, so we went back to get checked, and the nurse was like, no, go walk another hour. I was like, no, I want to get checked now. I feel like I've made progress. She checked me. I was a full 4 centimeters and even more effaced. So she said she was going to call the doctor, and then the doctor said to admit me. So then I got admitted. I got admitted around 9:30 p.m. So the nurse put the IV in my right hand, and as she was pulling the blood out, she said my vein was infiltrated, so she tried my left hand. It was so painful. Anyway, so my left hand was fine. She got the IV and I put a saline lock, and then after that, at around 10 p.m. we started walking again for an hour. And then at 11:15 I got checked again, and I was 6 centimeters. Yay! And so after that we started walking again from 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. And when I came back, she had to check me, and sitting down was really painful at that point. Like, I just had to walk. I could have probably done it all natural if I was able to walk the entire time. But she made me sit, and when she was checking me, I got weak and I said I want an epidural. So at around 1:45, the epidural came in, and they put the epidural in, and it hurt a lot. I feel like it hurt a lot. But he was funny and he did good. And then I got the catheter put in right after, and if she would have waited, it wouldn't really have hurt as much as it did hurt. So the catheter definitely hurt because I wasn't numb yet. Anyway, so my right side was numb and my left side was partially numb. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, so I finally got some sleep, even though like waking up every hour because the hospital beds were really uncomfortable. So it was about 6:25 a.m. and I felt leaking. Like I felt like something was leaking, so I thought it was my bag of water. What's wrong? Oh, you farting. And then when the nurse checked me, she said that it was my bag of water was still bulging and that I was dilated to 9 centimeters. So then, what happened after that? Oh, anyway, so then the epidural plug or whatever, like my entire left side was wet, like my shoulder. And I called the nurse and I asked her what was going on, and she said that the epidural plug had come off. Now, mind you, by this time, I was 9 centimeters, but my entire body was completely normal, meaning my right side was not numb anymore, meaning I could feel all the contractions, and boy, did it hurt. So, my epidural was not working anymore. They asked me if I wanted to put it in again, and I said no, because one of the nurses was a midwife, not mine, but she was a midwife, and she suggested that if I like try to do it natural, my pushing time would be less, and it won't, though it might hurt a little bit or you know whatever. She said at least I'll know when to push. So I said fine, and she suggested getting a mirror, which I highly recommend because that mirror helped me. I'm telling you, I pushed for 45 minutes, and that would not have been possible without a mirror. So anyway, so I was checked again at 8:30 a.m. and I was dilated to a full centimeters with the bulging water still there. The bulging bag of water, I'm sorry. So they called the doctor. She came in at 9:15 a.m. and when they pulled my legs apart, they like started laughing because they were like, wow, you have really strong bag of water, because it's just sitting there and they could see it, like it was outside a little bit, so they could see it. So as they put the hook in to break it, it went whoosh across the room. It was so hilarious. Because it got on my OB a little bit, on my doctor, so she went and got changed, and my husband was so shocked. He was like, whoa. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, I don't know. It was hilarious. Anyway, so she said the baby's head was at 0 station, so I still had to wait, and I had the most intense pressure in my rectum. Oh my God. It was hurting so bad. So then I started doing practice pushes with my nurse and started to feel really tired, so I asked for a break. And I let my contractions pull the baby down further and just held pressure down there every time I had a contraction. Around 9:45, I said I wanted to start pushing. And around 10, they took out my catheter, and I could see the white mucus vernix, I guess, that comes before the baby's head. And for the first 15 minutes, I pushed, and finally they called the doctor in because the head was really trying to come out. And she turned it to an anterior position, thank God. Anyway, so oh, right. I finally pushed, like, at the last part, after the tip of her head came out, the doctor was pushing my vagina open even more, and I couldn't stop pushing after that point. And even after even after the contractions went away, I was still pushing. And because I wanted her here really bad, and with one last push, after 45 minutes, out she came, and they put her on me, and my husband and I started crying. Well, I didn't really cry because I was so exhausted. It was a really exhausted experience. So after a lot of skin-to-skin contact, they asked if they could weigh her, and she took her, and they took her to the weight table, and my husband went along, videotaped it all. I'll put up the video for that as well. And then also, when they finished that, they asked me if I was ready to nurse, and I said sure. They put her, you know, like they put her there. It was okay, but then after that, it was really hard. Breastfeeding was really hard. Anyway, also, this is probably, okay, so, bottom line, she was born June 4th, 2010 at 10:40 a.m., weighing 8 pounds, 5 ounces, and 21 inches tall. And I labored for about 16 hours and pushed her out in 45 minutes or less. They said 45 minutes or less. I don't know. I wasn't keeping track. Alright, well, I'm going to do my postpartum update and other things in a little bit.